organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on Daily Iowan TV, it's Earth Day, and we'll tell you what some UI students did to go green. Plus, we'll take you to Carver for the U.S. Olympic wrestling trials.
And in sports, it was a senior send-off for track and field at the annual Musco meet.
That's all coming your way next, right here on Daily Iowan TV.
I'm Tom Brokaw. For more than 100 years now, the University of Iowa community has been waking up to the Daily Iowan. Today, it's the largest newsroom in eastern Iowa. And now you can see the news every night on Daily Iowan TV and get it anytime worldwide at dailyiowan.com.
Hello and welcome to your Sunday edition of Daily Iowan TV. I'm John Detcott. An outbreak of whooping cough has state officials reconsidering mandatory vaccinations for children. Not even a third of the way through the year, and Iowa has already seen 92 cases of pertussis, better known as whooping cough. That's up 83% over Iowa's 5-year average. According to the Associated Press, Iowa is one of just 10 states that do not require children to be vaccinated against the disease. But following the recent outbreak, public health officials say they will reconsider that policy. And Carver-Hawkeye Arena is playing host to the U.S. Olympic wrestling trials this weekend. Fans from all across the country flocked to campus in huge numbers and packed downtown businesses. We caught up with some fans earlier today to find out why this event is so unique.
Us as Iowans are glad to support the USA Wrestling, and we're looking forward to bringing home a lot of medals in London.
I just came because it's a unique experience I'll never have a chance to see again.
Being in Iowa City, the Mecca wrestling, it's great event. Seeing the best wrestlers in the country, and you can't be in a better place in Iowa City, Iowa.
Stay tuned for sports, where we'll have more on this record-breaking Olympic weekend. And on Sunday, the UI student government officially began a new era. UISG officials inaugurated new President Nick Potabom and Vice President Jesse Tobin at the Kinnick Press Box this afternoon. Potabom and Tobin say they are both eager to get to work. Their priorities include a campaign to improve campus diversity and the creation of a clicker rental program. And on Earth Day, a group of UI students held a special outdoor open house to promote green living. Daily Iowan TV's Brad Maxwell tells us how the students are reaching out to the gardening community to try and educate people on healthy food production.
This land was made for you and me.
A celebration of the land. That's exactly what brought a host of local community members to the Environmental Coalition's garden on this sunny afternoon. The University of Iowa Gardeners hosted a spring open house and day of service to honor Earth Day 2012. The day was packed full of workshops ranging from composting education to gardening with garlic. But the adults weren't the only ones participating in the event. Children also had the opportunity to get some flashy face paint and hula hoop in the garden. While these events provided a great celebration for Earth Day, Chelsea Chris suggests the UI gardeners are looking at the big picture.
Going for this closed loop system where, we grow the food here, we sell it to the IMU, they compost it, we get the compost from the city, so trying to keep everything closed loop and just very organic.
Producing both healthy and sustainable crops has become a central focus for the UI gardeners. And students may be taking a bite into these delicious fruits and veggies without even knowing.
All of our crops that we grow here, though, we sell to the IMU. And then they use it in their catering services and dining halls.
The gardeners' close work with the university and promotion of healthy food production has caught the attention of many UI students. And Chris suggests she's seen a spike in group numbers.
Well, the student garden used to be a project of the Environmental Coalition, and then recently this year it got so big and we have so many people involved that now it's its own student org.
The UI gardeners meet every week on Tuesday night and are constantly developing new plans and reaching out to the community.
We're starting a new herb garden there right behind Burge, so we'll be growing herbs there this summer and selling it to the dining halls.
Regardless of the current project, the UI gardeners are committed to providing healthy and delicious produce to students at the University of Iowa. I'm Brad Maxwell, Daily Iowan TV.
The UI gardeners will hold a groundbreaking ceremony for their herb garden behind North Hall at 4 p.m. on Monday. And still to come on Daily Iowan TV, we'll tell you about a new student group working to cure one of the fastest growing diseases in America. And in sports, Olympic wrestlers battled each other for a ticket to London this weekend. Let's see why it was Iowa City that made a name for itself. That's coming up in just a bit, but first let's go to Muriel Coney for your local weather forecast. Muriel?
Thanks, John. Let me start off by saying we'll see fewer thunderstorms this week as compared to last week. But first, let's take a look at tomorrow's weather. We'll start off with a nice sunny morning with a high of 50 degrees. Then temperatures will increase to the lower 60s in the afternoon. Also, expect some clouds to come in during the evening as the sun dies down. Looking at our extended forecast, temperatures will be pretty nice with the highs reaching 73 on Tuesday. But on Wednesday, we'll see similar thunderstorms as we saw last week. However, it'll still be warm with highs in the lower 60s on Thursday, and we'll have a 10-degree drop in temperatures with mostly sunny skies. And it will cool down a little bit into the weekend. Well, it seems like a pretty decent week ahead, despite the expected thunderstorms on Wednesday. John, back to you.
Thanks, Muriel. The UI Medical Campus recently completed a $47.7 million addition. On Friday, officials celebrated the construction of the new College of Public Health building with a special dedication ceremony. Senator Tom Harkin and Director for the Center of Disease Control, Thomas Frieden, were on hand for the celebration and tour. And with all of the college's departments now under one roof, officials said the building marks a critical step towards improving education for students. And Iowa hunters will likely experience some big changes this hunting season. The Iowa Department of Natural Resources recently approved several new regulations, which include reducing the number of antlerless deer that can be harvested by 13,000 and eliminating the November antlerless season altogether. The DNR will also add a third waterfowl zone on the Missouri River and increase trapping quotas. The DNR will hold a special public hearing on the proposals on May 23rd. And diabetes is one of the fastest growing diseases in the country, and with Sunday marking the end of National Stop Diabetes Week, many groups around the country held events to help raise money for a cure. Daily Iowa TV's Stephen Duran tells us about a student group working to raise awareness right here in Iowa City.
The city park here in Iowa City played host to a number of events again this weekend, but one particular group ran in hopes of finding a cure. Steps to a Cure is the first student-led group on campus that focuses on the prevention and awareness of the life-threatening disease called diabetes. This week was National Stop Diabetes Week, and Steps to a Cure leaders believe that this event was one fun way to reach out and meet a number of students with diabetes.
I feel like I'm seeing them everywhere though, and I'm meeting new people all the time that have it, and I actually really like that because there's such a sense of camaraderie when you meet someone else that has it.
Diabetes is one of the fastest growing diseases in the United States among all ages. According to the Department of Human Services, since 1985, the percentage of Americans diagnosed with diabetes has nearly tripled to 7% in 2010 and continues to grow. Sarah believes that further education and continued fundraising support for the cure of diabetes will encourage students to stay healthy and active now so they don't have to worry about new risks in the future.
I think that if you take care of yourself and take care of your dieting and your exercise, then I don't think that you're really going to have a whole lot of problems with it later in life.
Stephen Duran, Daily Iowan TV.
Group leaders hope that when students leave for the summer, they'll be able to help promote diabetes awareness in communities beyond Iowa City. And now Daily Iowan TV's Ian Martin is here for your look at Hawkeye sports.
One fairly new tradition for the Iowa Hawkeye track and field team is the annual Musco Twilight meet, when Kretzmeyer Track is under the lights for the night. Daily Iowan TV Sports' Annie Costable tells us why no sunlight was no problem for the Hawks.
The 13th annual Musco Twilight Meet was held last night at the University of Iowa's Francis Kretzmeyer Track, and the Hawkeyes showed up, tallying 14 first-place finishes. But what really had Coach Wazorek excited was the newfound tradition of the Musco Twilight Meet.
It's a real special night for me because I really love the sport of track and field, and I really want to make it something special at the University of Iowa. And so I tell everybody, in the darkest spot in Iowa City, Musco brings in their lights and lights it up, and we have the video board and we have fireworks. How many competitions, have fireworks like that? And it's my way of showing our athletes how special they are. And also, it's an opportunity for us to show off the sport of track and field. So to me, it's a great tradition here for us. We get to introduce our seniors and do some special things.
Despite the fun atmosphere surrounding this meet, the athletes knew they needed to take this as an opportunity to prepare for the Drake relays coming up this weekend. And both coaches felt they did just that.
I really feel like we're taking a strong team across the board in the sprints and the distance relays and the field events. I mean, I really feel like Troy Doris in the triple jump, Jeff Heron in the high jump, and we're going to go to Drake, and there are going to be Hawkeye highlights throughout the weekend, and there's going to be a lot of press in the Des Moines Register and the Cedar Rapids the Press Citizen. So yeah, we're definitely excited about where we are, but we've got work to do and 3 weeks left till the Big Ten Championship.
Drake Relays is special because the whole United States will be looking at the Drake Relays, and I tell people it's a home meet for the Hawkeyes. You know, everybody wants to cheer for the Hawkeyes.
Both coaches and the team know they'll see some of their toughest competition at the Drake Relays beginning this weekend, but they welcome the challenge. Annie Costable, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
Now, Musco was the team's last meet here in Iowa City, but the men and women still have one more opportunity to compete within the Hawkeye State, and that's at the Drake Relays beginning this coming weekend. Hawkeye baseball lost 2 of 3 this weekend, winning the final game in its home series on Sunday, but it was Saturday's loss that everyone will remember for years to come. That's because Penn State's Stephen Hill no-hit the Hawkeyes yesterday, allowing just one Iowa hitter to reach base. That was Iowa's Mike McQuillan. He walked in actually the first at bat in the first inning and then was hit by a pitch in the 6th. Otherwise, though, Hill, a junior at Penn State, had 3 strikeouts in the Big Ten's first no-no since 2009 and Penn State's first since 1995. And one of the most highly anticipated events has come and gone here in Iowa City. This year's Olympic wrestling trials took place in Carver-Hawkeye Arena and held the largest crowd in trials history. DITV Sports' Nick Robertson was one of just thousands taking in the action this weekend.
Carver-Hawkeye Arena was filled to the brim with wrestling fans waiting to see who will be going to London this summer. But the crowds that the athletes see here in Iowa City might be the biggest they will ever see. I don't know if it's possible, but crowds here at Iowa City might have been able to break another record. A record for the amount of times an attendance record was broken in a single weekend. Fans here in Iowa City and Carver-Hawkeye Arena were able to break the attendance record for the Olympic wrestling trials not once, not twice, but 3 times. The first session, which ran through Saturday afternoon, shattered the previous attendance record with 13,520 seats filled. As you can see, the number goes up from there. Session 2, which was the evening session on Saturday, grew by 230 fans. Then the Sunday morning session, Session 3, beat the previous 2. Among the record-breaking amount of fans watching was wrestling legend Dan Gable, and he feels that a packed house is exactly what the sport and Iowa City needs.
These fans can appreciate good wrestling, whether it's Iowa State, Iowa, UNI, whether it's Wartburg.
And even the athletes can feel the effect of having record crowds watch them compete.
There's nothing like being in Iowa, and good old Iowans that go out there. I got a standing ovation. Nothing to know who I am.
What this weekend has represented for the sport of wrestling is yet to be seen. But one thing is clear is that Iowa City is happy representing wrestling. I'm Nick Robertson from Carver-Hawkeye Arena, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
That's all for sports tonight, but tune in tomorrow night for a full recap of all the results from the Olympic wrestling trials in Iowa City. Back to you, John.
Thanks, Ian. And now let's go beyond Iowa and take a look at some of the top headlines from around the globe. The French presidential election is down to 2. The country will hold a runoff election on May 6th to see if François Hollande can defeat incumbent Nicolas Sarkozy. Exit polls for Sunday's 10-man contest showed Hollande beating Sarkozy by about 3%. And in the Czech Republic on Saturday, nearly 100,000 union workers turned out to protest governmental reform. Protesters called for the resignation of officials who've introduced reform on the country's healthcare, tax, and welfare systems. The government is also expected to make significant budget cuts this year in the face of poor economic projections. And China and Russia began 6 days of naval war games on Sunday. Chinese naval officials say the games will help the two countries prepare for future threats and maintain peace in the region. The two countries have held the friendly games annually since 2005. And before we go, take a look at this. Garfield would be proud. This is Meow, a 39-pound cat that is now up for adoption in New Mexico. Meow's previous owner is elderly and can no longer care for the fluffy feline, so Meow is now in an animal care shelter. Vets there say they'll work to help her cut weight and find a new home. That is easily the fattest cat I have ever seen, looked like a small cow. But only with Daily Iowan TV can you get a sneak preview of tomorrow's print edition of the Daily Iowan. Read about a new recycling plant that officials hope will improve sustainability on the east side of Iowa City. Plus, find out how Habitat for Humanity organizers are building homes that create as much energy as they consume. And that'll do it for this edition of Daily Iowan TV. Check us out at the same time tomorrow or anytime online at dailyiowan.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.